Welcome to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The Senate has set up a 7-member ad hoc committee to investigate the factors affecting the completion of the $18.5 billion Abuja Centenary Economic City project, 10 years after of commencement. Tonight, our focus is on Edo politics and matters arising. And my guest is Kassim Afegbua, APC Chieftain, Public Affairs Analyst. This is Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for staying with us. With the governorship election in Edo State fast approaching, political parties in the state are not leaving any stone unturned to woo voters. But this is without internal party wrangling and other political issues. Tonight we shall be looking at the APC and its preparedness for the forthcoming September elections. Joining me now to share his perspective is APC Chieftain and Public Affairs Analyst Kassim Afegbua. Good evening to you, Mr. Afegbua. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's glad to have you again on Politics Tonight.
Good evening, and thanks for having me.
Right, so it's 4 months to another round of election in Edo State when the people of the state will have another chance to choose their next governor. INEC has published the final list of 17 candidates for that governorship election. How do you assess the preparedness of your party, the APC, especially after the governorship primaries?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity of this discussion. Well, the APC is the party to beat in Edo State governorship election in September 21st. There's no doubt about that because I've been issued a number of aspirants that vie for the ticket of the party, judging by the number, shows that APC is very much on ground in Edo State. We have the ruling party, the PDP, that has been unable to showcase its own achievements in the last 8 years. We have a governor who is in the state only conscious of elections coming now and going around to do a few things here and there. The abysmal failure of the present government, the way and manner they have plundered with the resources of the state, and the debts hanging on our neck, about 350 billion naira. There are things to worry about. So the Edo people, very enlightened people, very conscious of their own environment, are ready to vote out the PDP. And don't forget that the PDP is also factionalized in 2 places. The legacy PDP, is spearheaded by the national vice chairman of the party for South-South, Chief Dan Obi. Then the new PDP, which the governor represents, and his godson, also Godalo. So I don't know how they can put through. Don't forget that the deputy governor was also impeached. So there are quite a number of factors working against them. That's why I said APC is the party to beat. We have a candidate who has very robust emotional intelligence, a candidate who is already performing even before being elected. He's fixing roads. Is going around to reach out to the yearnings and aspirations of the Edo people. And so to that extent, we are looking forward to a landslide victory. We will trounce the PDP silly. We will beat them silly, so to speak.
But talking about the PDP, I mean, what some stakeholders have said is that the PDP has finally fallen apart. But we'll come back to that. Let's stay on your party, the APC. The Edo primary has come and gone, but looks like all is still not well with the party. It looks like there are still some unresolved issues as a result of the outcome of that primary. I mean, recently, Dr. Victoria Amo resigned. What do you think is happening? You're a chieftain of the party in that state. What do you think is happening?
Well, you must commend the APC, whether you like it or not, for going into a primary that was keenly contested, where 29 aspirants, vie for the position of the candidate of the party, and at the end of the day, one emerged. Even with all the protestations, the way and manner the crisis, was settled, and the way and manner that everyone, key into the final outcome of the primaries goes to suggest that there are robust internal mechanisms within the APC that were fully deployed to ensure that everyone was carried along. I wouldn't know the rationale for Victoria Amo pulling out, but as the only woman who presented herself for the primaries of the party, I expected her to stay put and not be attracted by the carrot and stick of it, whether maybe some level of patronage from the ruling PDP. But whatever be her reason, she has pleaded with us that we should respect her position, and I want to abide by that. No problem. She's free to make her choice. If she's supporting the ruling party, well, that's left for her. But I know for a fact that given the political dynamics in the state now, given the way and manner that a lot of APC aspirants have keyed into this candidate of Monday Okwebolo, I know that it will be an easy ride for us beating the PDP hands down in the elections.
Mm. But how united is the APC in Edo State?
Well, very united. Kassim Afegbua speaking to you here. Also participated in the primaries process ab initio before certain dynamics threw me away. I have since moved on, and so also other of our other aspirants who were initially bitter because of the way I managed the thing panned out. But just like you know, politics is just a game. Whether you like it or not, one individual will emerge out of every process. So we have since put the issue of primaries behind us. We have rallied around the leader of the party in the state, Senator Adams Oshomole. The candidate himself has reached out to quite a number of persons. The number of people defecting to APC in Edo State today is very high. The latest is Felix Akabwe, one of the strong contenders for this governorship position under the PDP, just defected about, I think, yesterday. And so a lot of people are defecting to APC. The candidate is reaching out, very humble candidate, very humble man who possesses in a very rich emotional intelligence, who is able to connect to the people, who shares in their plight, and who is able to understand where the shoe pinches in Edo State. If you go to Edo State today, you will be wondering whether this is a state that have gotten over close to 700 to 800 billion naira, since the inception of the administration. You can't connect what we get, in terms of revenue allocation with what obtains, what exists, as performance of the outgoing governor. And so for a lot of Edo people, they want to use this election to punish Governor Obaseki for being so wicked, Edo people, for being so uninvolved in the affairs of the people, for spreading hatred, when it should be spreading love and harmony, for trying to divide and rule the state in a manner that favors him at the detriment of the state collectively. So we have come up with a candidate who understands all of these dynamics and who will be able to rally around all of these factors to ensure that September 21st, we defeat the PDP. I'm not losing sleep over this election at all.
Right. So I asked the question about the unity of the party because the feelers we're getting is that some aspirants are still disgruntled, and despite exploring all internal mechanisms at resolving this conflict or this dispute, some of them are still very uncertain about the process and outcome of that primaries. But are you worried about, any act of anti-party activities as a result of the fallout of that primaries if these issues are not properly addressed?
What issues are going to be addressed? I have told you that when you contest primaries, only one individual will emerge. An individual has emerged. There's nothing to. The last man who went to court, has just last week called his supporters to say, please go and support and work for Monday Okwebolo. That is how much effective the internal mechanism of the party is in resolving issues and differences. Don't forget that when people go into primary election, or even the re-election, there are bound to be acrimonies, crises here and there and all that. But your capacity and your ability to rally around all the factors and to resolve the issues in a more holistic way will help to deepen conversations around elections. So for me, I have not seen any crisis in APC. APC is very robust. APC is very engaging. APC is very united. As we speak now, I'm not aware of people who are disgruntled, who are complaining, because we see it from time to time. And if there are issues, you sit down on the round table, we resolve them. Right. But everybody is commending and conceding to the fact that the candidate is a humble man. He's reaching out to people. He pays them visit. He tells them what his agenda is, what he intends to do, and how to carry everybody along. I think it will be an easy ride for APC, irrespective of what some people may be thinking.
All right, Mr. Afegbua. Now, let me have your reaction to the chaos happening in the Edo State House of Assembly. 3 lawmakers have been suspended over an alleged plot to impeach the Speaker and other principal officers. How do you react to this?
You see, Governor Obaseki has never run, a state House of Assembly since his inception. Don't forget that the last 4 years, before this new State of Assembly, he governed Edo with 9 members out of 24 members. A minority presided, or supposedly presided over lawmaking process in Edo State, which was a clear anomaly, a clear abuse of process, an unconstitutional process that the governor, and his deputy then had to impose on Edo people. 14 members of the assembly that were validly elected by their constituents were denied the opportunity to serve the people. So this time round, they have come with the same shenanigans, with the same style of trying to suspend people and all of that. The speaker just woke up one morning and said because he wants to be impeached, the 3 people have been suspended and all that. Before you say Jack Robinson is likely going to suspend almost half Edo Assembly and maybe lead the assembly with just maybe 10 members, as the case may be. This is one of the problems we have been confronting in Edo State, and that is why it will be easier to defeat Obaseki and his candidate come September 21st, because you cannot be ruling people in a lawless manner and becoming uninvolved in the entire process. When people are validly elected by their constituents, the onus is on the executive to ensure that the House was properly inaugurated. He didn't do that in the last 4 years. Now that he did that and choose his own lackey as a speaker, that one, if he wakes up in the morning, if they bring a particular bill in the morning, in the evening, they will pass it. Is that an assembly? An assembly that cannot interrogate processes, an assembly that cannot proffer solutions to basic issues confronting the state. You have 8 judges of those state courts, nominated, and they have been refused to be sworn in. There are so many inanities, so many obscenities that are prevailing in Edo political landscape. But September 21st will be a referendum for Edo people to ensure that Obaseki and his godson are beaten mercilessly, and they will be told that Edo people actually are conscious of the inanities that Obaseki has brought to us. Edo is always in the news for the wrong reasons. Now we have talked about impeachment. The deputy governor was impeached hurriedly. The speaker is afraid of being impeached again, and it's all manners of negative news, portraying Edo in a bad light. That is not who we are.
Well, Mr. Afegbua, do you think this current chaos in the House of Assembly is in any way related to the recent impeachment of the Deputy Governor of the state, Philip Shuaibu? Because when the Speaker of the House says the suspended members are responding to external forces outside the Assembly, is this in any way pointing fingers to the former Deputy Governor? Do you think this is in any way related?
Well, if they are related, it will not be a surprising thing, because the deputy governor that was impeached also has his loyalty within the assembly. But of course, we knew what happened, we knew what transpired. some of these issues we have since predicted. We knew where they were coming from. We knew where it will lead. The mutual suspicion will continue to prevail the assembly from now till the elections, whether they like it or not. You have a speaker that does not have a mind of his own, a speaker that is being teleguided by the executive. You have a speaker who cannot even interrogate the governor to construct rules leading to his village. You see bad rules everywhere, and when you interrogate them, you continue to speak from Latin to Greek and all of that. So the point is, when you have a leadership that cannot look the executive in the face and tell him the obvious truth, you are likely going to have leadership inertia. So what we are having in Edo is actually not an assembly, if you ask me. Some of them are good guys, but in terms of the collective, man, there is a complete misnomer. So I won't be surprised. There are going to be mutual suspicion that to further this narration of impeachment, and I will be happy if the speaker is impeached, whether from the external or from the internal, and no matter how much he tries to suspend people, at the end of the day, the truth will prevail. So it's peculiar with Obasanjo's style of leadership. So I'm not surprised at all.
Interesting. But Mr. Afegbua, I'd like you to react to two more issues before we leave tonight. The governor of the state has been criticized for swearing in judges 11 months after recommendation by the National Judicial Council. How do you react to this, and how does this affect governance in Edo State?
I just raised the point now. You see, because the elections are coming, that is why the governor felt that he needed to swear in those judges, those 8 judges, when they have since been nominated in the last 11 months, just a year ago. You see, when you have a governor who charts the course of lawlessness, a governor who does not respect statutory responsibilities of other arms of government, this is what you get. But because elections are by the corner, that is why you are even seeing that the governor is trying to tar some streets, you know, just some mere plastering, earthwork and all of that to show that he's working. He even came out recently to say he increased salary of Edo people to 70, Edo's workers to 70,000. When in actual sense, the government has increased salary to 65,000, 30,000 minimum wage before, with 35,000 that was agreed upon, making 65. What he just did was just to add 5,000 naira. But he's claiming that he has given 70,000 increment. This is the reality in Edo today. We have a governor that charts the course of lawlessness, and it's quite disturbing when 8 judges will be nominated by the National Judicial Council and presented to the state for swearing in, and for 11 months you kept them in abeyance. That, to me, is even an impeachable offense. Rather than even impeached, it does not have an issue. I think the governor ought to have been impeached if the assembly were to be responsible enough to know what to do in the face of brazen abuse of processes.
All right, let's now come to your party. September 21st is almost here. Why should the people of Edo State vote your party and your candidate? Mr. Afegbua.
Why shouldn't they vote?
Why should they vote?
Vote APC. No, because they will naturally vote APC because they have seen the limits and of PDP's rulership in the state, and this is not what we bargained for. You need to visit Edo State, my dear sister, and you see for yourself the rot and the decay and the abysmal performance of a governor who is chasing enemies, perceived enemies, and fighting almost everybody. But because the elections are coming now, he's presenting himself as if he's one nice guy. We know all of these tricks. They won't work in this election. Edo people can connect to the realities that stare them in the face. And what are those realities? Reality of flooding, erosion, decayed infrastructure in the educational sector. They call it Edo best, but when you go to Edo, it's called Edo worse. I don't understand how you can reconcile what is happening today with the kind of resources that have accrued to the state in the last 8 years. And so I am just waiting for September 1st, 21st, because I know that Edo people are very conscious, they are very enlightened, they are very exposed. But this governor has put us in the limelight for the wrong reasons. He's fighting the monarchy, he's trying to balkanize the Benin Kingdom, a thing that's abominable by every standard. He's fighting with the palace over artifacts. He's doing this, he's doing that. Everything, every step he takes is for the wrong reasons. So we don't we will not want to be on the wrong side. We want to appreciate for being the heartbeat of the country. We want to be appreciative of being very enlightened people. We want to be appreciative of being very conscious of our environment. We know the can-do spirit of the Edo people, and we know that come September 21st, they are going to exercise their franchise by using that term to punish Obaseki for all these misdemeanor, all these misdeeds, all the political miscalculations that he has brought to the state.
All right, then. I mean, September 21st is almost here. We'll see how things go. Thank you for joining us this evening. I've been speaking with Kassim Afegbua, APC Chieftain, Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on Politics Tonight.
It's a pleasure.
Right. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good night, everyone.